Country Dance in D major by Beethoven. Works without opus 11, number 7. We did a country dance in D major in the last video, works without opus 15, number 1. In the suggested teaching order in Jane McGraw's Masterpieces with Flair, Book 1, the link is in the comments, this comes second out of the two. I actually find this one a little easier of the two, but I think it has to do with the size of the pianist's hands, because there are some good octave chords in the right hand that measures 9 and 10. And that can be difficult for some students with smaller hands who have yet to achieve an octave reach. I will go over some strategies later in this video on how to play the octaves if your reach does not quite fit. I do believe those chords are why this country dance is considered more difficult than the other one in this book. I personally think that the first one is more challenging because it uses more dynamic changes and articulations. Overall, this piece is full of sforzandos and staccatos. So we have staccato, sforzando, staccato, sforzando, and then you have a nice two-note slur. Remember, that's down, up, staccato, like popcorn. And then it happens again. Staccato, sforzando. Remember, sforzando is very loud. And then two-note slur followed by staccatos. A nice sforzando there. Boom. There are two ways to play these sforzandos. I'm doing a wrist flick. So when I play the notes down, the wrist comes up. And I do that because it adds a lot of power. And I'm still using the weight of my arm. But we have these repeated chords, and I just find it easier to play those quickly in repetition with the wrist flick. You can also do down forearm, and I actually think I can get a louder sound on the down forearm. So I wouldn't discourage someone playing with like a wrist flick on the staccato and then a down forearm on the sforzando. I just find it easier to do wrist flicks twice, and I think I get a good effect out of that. But this also sounds good, so that's really up to the pianist and their preferences. I will say this in every video tutorial. Always master your pieces in a slow tempo before playing at speed. The way you heard me demonstrate earlier, that is a good speed to learn it at. You could even learn it slower. I often tell my students, no tempo is too slow when you're learning a piece. And then when it's comfortable, when you really know it, then just bring it up to speed. You probably won't have to put much effort into speeding it up after it's comfortable in the hands. Okay, and then that repeats. Now at measure 9, this is the part that I mentioned earlier with the octaves. I have two suggestions. You can arpeggiate the chord, that's rolling the chord, so that you don't have to start with your finger 5 on the top key. You'd start down like this and then shift your wrist while you move. So you would start down and then come up. You probably have to do this slowly a few times. Imagine that you are strumming the strings of a guitar or harp while you play. Let go of the thumb and keep the other fingers down. This arpeggiated rolled chord will work for a formal performance. Now, if I am teaching this to a younger student and they are not going to play this for an evaluation or be graded on their performance, maybe they're just playing it for a recital, I would encourage them to just drop the inside octave note, like so. What that does is it makes it easier to center the hand on the chord, and they can focus on dropping their forearm into a nice, effective sforzando, which is really more of the focus on this piece. Not so much the octaves, but just being able to play with confidence and power. So I personally have no issue with a student dropping out the inside note to this so that they can play more powerfully. So it's up to the teacher and the student, but the two options are to roll, arpeggiate the chords, or to eliminate the inside octave note. Now, if your hands are big enough to focus on playing the chords complete, do so. If you are new to playing 4-note chords, that use an octave, it may be a little uncomfortable at first. But this piece will be good exercise and your hands will stretch out in time. After that, the technique pretty much stays the same. This piece continues to alternate between two-note slurs and forzandos. So. I would say skills-wise, this is pretty much straightforward. Make sure you can play a two-note slur with a nice down-up wrist motion. Remember that slur is legato from the first to the second note, and the second note is short and detached. You will also need strong hands with firm fingers and heavy arms to play the sforzados effectively. Master these two techniques, and you will play this piece like a pro. This is a fun piece, and I suggest it for pianists who like happy, energetic music. And that's it for the second country dance in D major. Happy practicing.